What up? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Mr. Prince of SoundCloud, SoundClick. It's your boy Tone 202 coming at you one more again. Upper Echelon, Kill for Kill. My dude, No Name. No Name is a new subscriber, bringing that knowledge. I feel you, bro. Talking about the God King. Ooh. Went way back to I think he's talking about Nebuchadnezzar. You know, and we were talking about the 90% who is doomed to be poor, and the 10% who are pretty much controlling the whole world, the banking families, the Zionist Jews and all that. Couldn't really get into the conversation, but I read the post, and all that leads into pretty much what's going on with the NBA, NFL, and why they want you to keep concentrating on that nonsense, why they keep starting all these wars that the majority of us have nothing to do with. I have nothing to do with the war in Iraq, or I have nothing to do with most of those wars, but they send us off to war. You notice they don't send your senators' children off to war. None of these high-ranking officials, they don't send them off to war. They send the, average everyday poor people off to war. Yes, I'm making a YouTube video. This is what I do, all right? Anyway, so it's really wide open and in our face too. But it's almost like when I was growing up, the military was a good choice. You know what I mean? And sure enough, they tried to ship us off to war. I got out right before Desert Storm started. I'm a peacetime veteran, but when war was declared, I was still in. They could have easily told me I couldn't ETS. They were like, no, go. I was like, fine. I actually wanted to go, to war with my friend, because I knew he was going to be in the mix because of what he did, what his job was. I went to my chain of command, was just like, went to his chain of command, was like, take me with you. And he said, I can't outprocess you fast enough. Anyways, I ain't hear from him again until 20 years later. Told me as soon as he got off the plane, they were shooting at him. He had 3 types of guns. Nonetheless, that's nothing to do with us, especially black people, Hispanic people. That's nothing to do with you guys. Those wars have nothing to do with you. Actually, most races. I was explaining to a dude from Russia. I said, listen, when black people say white people in a condescending way, they're not talking about you, even though you're a white dude. I said, they're talking about the English, the French, and the American white people. Because those are the ones who pretty much, captured us and brought us over here. Well, they didn't capture us. We were sold by Africans, and, the Jews were sold by Africans. The Africans sold us into slavery and and shipped us across the water in the good ship Jesus, the Santa, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and all those other. Anyways, it was just a conversation we were having about why the world is the way it is, and why black people are getting shot and killed, and and you don't see certain races that happening to them. I was telling this Asian chick, I was like, listen, 60 years ago, you were the enemy. I mean, you would not have been able to walk the streets. Hey, little prince. An Asian person wasn't over here walking around. They was blowing their asses up. A picture, you and I engaged in a kiss. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you, my darling? Can you picture? Dream if you can. A courtyard, ocean of violets and bloom. And those structures poses to feel the heat between me and I can't just leave it standing alone in the world is so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my mother, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. I messed it up. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm sorry, I just went there. I can't do the scream. Only Prince. Anyways. So, yeah. What's up? So, as far as sports is concerned, we have to examine who and why we are, and why we're so enthralled with it, why there's so much money poured into it, so much passion into it. You know what I'm saying? Why people take it so seriously. Some people take it seriously because it's their livelihood. I can understand that. You got to do something in this world. You know? You just can't say, the world is controlled by a bunch of crazy people who start wars all the time. I'm not going to do anything. No, there's people who try that. They have a hard time. Then you're like, this person over here is going to give me, $100 million to go out here and shoot a ball in the hoop. What are you going to do? You're going to go shoot the ball in the hoop. I'm not mad about, the sport itself because I understand it's a business. You got to do something. Some people are blessed with innate talent to put that ball in the hoop better than others. So that's what they do. Well, can't blame them. Some people run faster than others, or stronger, so on and so forth. Some people are just brilliant. Even in my family, I've seen people who are just like, you're just brilliant. My brother, he's just ridiculously smart.
Damn, we came down porn, didn't it?
Yeah, dude. I was rocking to that Prince.
Yeah, for real?
Dude, yeah, I was honest.
Good, huh?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I was sitting there telling my dad, I was at my dad's house. I'm like, man, this is kind of weather. I want to go out there and take my shirt off and play.
Yeah, yeah. Get it in. But some people are just ridiculously talented. My talent back in the day was running. I could run a mile in under 5 minutes, like it was nothing. Run a 4:26, 4:40, 4:45. It was easy for me to do. But when it came to basketball, you guys, I sucked. I sucked in high school, and that was it for me. I quit because I couldn't. My fast twitch muscles were just not fast enough to keep up with the average guy on the court. And when I say that, I mean like the crossover. I would get crossed easily until, I used a football technique to help me stop getting crossed. But it just was frustrating to me. And then I didn't have the right, chutzpah to. And I just decided I just didn't want to learn. I was like, eh. So I was okay. People picked me because I was tall. So I would go out there and pretty much play football on the basketball court. One guy said, you know what, guy, we know you're strong, okay? Because I would jump up and get the ball like, yeah. I was like the worm. But there's a position for the worm. I was that dude. I was out there just, yeah. But I sucked at it. We had a game in our hood when I was a kid called Loose Booty. Basically, it's a pickup game of basketball, but the lowest man gets kicked in the butt by everybody else if he's, you know. Here's a real caveat. If there's 3 people out there playing loose booty, a person would come down to the court and would say, "What y'all playing?" We'd be like, "Loose booty," and they'd say, "Who's the low man?" And they'd be like, "Well, my name back in the day was Silky." They'd be like, "Silky, And it would be one of the guys who were in the 17, I was like 14, 15, they were like 17. And I knew they could play better than me. So next thing you know, you would have like 30 people playing, and I would be out there hustling just to try to get a point. I couldn't dribble, I couldn't shoot. I just got mad. And that was my modus operandi all the way up to high school. I just was mad at the damn ball, but I was a good football player. I'd crack your whole dome. I broke a record playing football in high school. I just had no more anger in me after that, so I didn't play in college. And I had 2 letters, one to Penn State and one to Slippery Rock. I just didn't want to go and get hit that much and that hard anymore without being able to fight a person. My whole attitude towards football changed, but when I was on that damn field, I was like, I am going to, I'm going to hurt one of you bastards. Oh my God. Even the people on my own team in practice, if they talked that noise, they already knew the way I was coming at them. I had one guy, he was like, hey, can you take it easy on me today? And I was like, yeah. He kept talking junk all the time. Kept talking junk. So every time he lined up on the opposite side of me, I came out of the backfield and I planted him. Blam! Just like Marshawn Lynch said, you can't hit a guy in the face over and over and over and over and over and over. They just don't want that. You know? Then another guy tried the same thing on. He just moved out the way because he realized I ducked my head before I hit someone. You can't do that now. He would just move out the way, and I'd be like, where'd that guy go? So I had to change my game. But it's just a continued conversation that Kill for Kill was having, with No Name, who has a lot of information. I'm gonna tell you something, No Name. When you put that information out there, like it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot, even though it could be just a few sentences. It's a lot. When I say it's a lot of research. You just can't look at that and go, oh, you're right. You got to research that. Most people don't know who the God King was, or what happened to him, or the 7 years he spent going crazy because God cursed him, or why he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? You look at basketball today, and you try to link all that together. You're like, it's a no-brainer, but for the person who doesn't want to think about it, it's hard for them to conceive that all these sports are linked into this. Music and everything, all ran by the same people, all ran by Sony, the Jewish people, all of them. Jay-Z's got his new album out, 444. It's more like 666, because Jay-Z is a follower of Aleister Crowley, who was a devil worshiper. A rich man who was just a devil worshiper. And you know this because Jay-Z would have a shirt on that says, do what thou willest. And that's Aleister Crowley's saying. Crazy dude. This is what P was talking about in one of his letters before he died, Prodigy. That's why he couldn't stand Jay-Z, because he found out that Jay-Z was well aware of what he was doing, and he was well aware of how the masses are being portrayed and slaughtered, and on a daily basis, and he had the finances to do something about it, and he didn't. Now, big ups to Jay-Z for going and bailing out fathers on Father's Day. Just bail them out anyway while I wait till Father's Day. But he did something that I financially just cannot do. So I was like, yeah, do that. I don't listen to Jay-Z's music. I respect it. I respect his talent. But I don't listen to Jay-Z at all. I stopped listening to Jay-Z back when boom, 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 boom. He just got sued for that too. That was a song that came out of India. He just got sued for that hook. Took him almost 20 years to sue him for that. But nonetheless, when I realized you know, how Jay-Z was so much into money, and I was more into hip hop. I wasn't into all the money. It just kind of, I'd rather listen to Lauryn Hill than Jay-Z in a heartbeat. Jay-Z's talking about how he was a drug dealer and came up. Lauryn Hill is talking about how the system is broken and everybody's being held down, and she's trying to show you a way to get out. I'm with that because I can identify with that. I can't identify with being a millionaire and driving a 1.8 Mercedes Benz. That I just can't fathom that. I can't fathom Chris Paul making $230 million putting the ball in a hoop. I can't fathom none of that. Even when Kevin Garnett came into the game and he got 100 and what, 33 or 130 million, I was like, why? I never watched a full game of what Kevin Garnett was doing. Never. Never bothered. It's not that I didn't like Kevin, I just didn't like what I saw. All these ridiculous numbers. And I still haven't watched the full game. But you guys can. It's cool. Some small countries don't even have that much money. 230 million. Give Mogadishu 230 million. You would have never had Black Hawk Down. That and some leadership. You know? Or the 40 billion that we give to Jerusalem. Obama did that before he got out of office. Anyway, on and on. This isn't really so much NBA news, it's just the way I'm feeling at this moment. I'm trying to get what I call eye time, where I get away from the screen glare, because I got homework to do. I'll be up till like 11 o'clock, then I got class in the morning. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I was reading your conversations. And Supreme, you leave me a lot of links with good information. I'm sorry I can't get to all of them. And truthfully, Supreme, I keep telling you this, you should have a channel where the link should not be what the news is. The link should be, well, you know what? I'm sorry that I said that, because you come to my channel for a reason. And I feel you on that. I'm just saying you're a lot smarter than I am when it comes to the game of basketball. But, you know, we all need a perspective of someone else. And I think that's why you come to my channel. You just want to hear my perspective. So, you know, big ups to you on that. Yeah. But some of your topics I can get to and, you know, examine. And the other ones, I can't really do a video on. Nonetheless, God is still blessing it. Rain today. Rains on the rich and the poor. Somebody asked me about the earth being flat. They were like, if the earth is round, how come nobody falls off? Oh, have mercy. Oh, sweet goodness, Lord. I just had to laugh about it, and then I told him, I said, look, I believe the earth is flat. And it doesn't move. Anyways, you guys got anything else you want to actually talk about? Speaking of Supreme, if you want me to actually talk about the link you leave, because I'm assuming that you want me to examine this information, but not all the time look at it and say, okay, I'm going to talk about this. Like, this is going to be my next video. But if that's what you're doing, you should just tell me, like, yo, I want you to speak on this. Okay? Because sometimes I'll look at that information, I'll digest it, and I'll be like, okay, that happened. Then I'll say, okay, I'll put this in a video, but not necessarily talk about that as in the whole. So if you're looking for me to talk about that in a whole, then I will look at the subject matter, you know, go and do a little bit of research on it, and then tell you what I think of it. So I just want to let you know that, you know, if that's what you're trying to do. But like I said, I'm in school, so you guys might have to give me a little bit more time for some of this stuff. Anyways, love the Lord thy God, obey his commandments, because he ain't playing with none of us. Heaven is real, hell is real, demons, angels, all that is real. What the government is telling you about the earth is not real. But life is real. Love is real. You know? Watch what you put your love into. Watch who you put your love into. I've made that mistake. I've loved people who don't love me. And, when I love people now, when I tell somebody I love them, it's not necessarily I love you and I know you're gonna be with me. It's just that, look, I love you. I just wanted you to know that. You go on and run around with whoever you want to. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna try to stop you from doing that. But for the for whatever reason, you could just love that person. And I've loved people that are from a distance, like they're miles and miles away. Like I hardly ever see them. But they know that I love them. So there's nothing wrong with that. But be careful with it. When you're loving these sports and stuff, when you're loving things that can fail you, just be careful. Watch what you build your foundation on. You know what I'm saying? Be careful of that. Be careful of who you build your foundation with. You know, I've made several mistakes where my heart led me astray. You know, for loving someone, and it's not necessarily like I was physical with this individual, but I had a love for them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you could have a love for doing good for people, and it can get you killed. That's happened plenty of times. As a matter of fact, during the winter, I used to do this every winter. I used to get in my truck, my older one, and I had a four-wheel drive. And the blizzard hit, I would go along the highway and look for people to rescue. I had to stop that because the dude got shot and killed a couple times. And then the whole Craigslist killings was going on, and I was like, I can't be what I am anymore because I'm afraid of getting killed just for helping people. So I just wanted to put that out there, you guys. Be careful. Not everybody loves you back. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes love isn't reciprocated. The game of basketball don't love you. You think basketball loves you? You could die right now and they wouldn't care. They wouldn't even know your name. But you love it. Be careful. You know? There's people around you who could care less about you, but you have an affection for, you have an affinity for that. You want their attention. You want them to talk to you. You want them to come see you every now and then. You want something from them, but you not. It's not supposed to be that way. People at work, it's the same thing. There's somebody at work, you want their attention, or either you want their attention or you don't want their attention. You want them to stop paying you attention, regardless. It could be somebody at work you have a love for. You can't wait to see them. Your home girl, your home boy. Man, I love talking to this person. You know, but that person could be attached to somebody else, and they might not feel the way you feel, and or if they do feel the way you feel, and they're attached to somebody else, that might not be a good thing. Just saying. Watch the game and watch the game of love. Be careful. Watch what your house is built on. All that sneaking around you doing. I done snuck around. You think nobody's looking at us? Snuck around. I didn't. When I was a teenager, I was sneaky. Oh man, I'm gonna end this with the story. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. When I was younger, I was in a group home, and there was this girl. She was my girlfriend actually. I was like 17. She was 17. And the group home had 2 floors. And I really wanted to see her that night. So what I told her was she was on the girls' end and I was on the guys' end, but it was, 2 floors up and we had guards watching us. And I told her, I said, leave the door cracked. I said, leave the window cracked. So I stole a ladder that was outside, went and put the ladder up to her window, middle of the night. But how I got to it was, for one, I unlocked the ladder during the day. Nobody noticed. Then I had my roommate and I tied blankets and sheets together so I can, lower myself down on some Batman trying to see this girl. Lowered myself down, man. Ran around, grabbed the ladder, put it up to her window, climbed up the ladder, went in there to see her, woke her up, was laying in bed talking to her and everything. Then the guard came in and I fell off the bed right on the floor. Boom. He ain't even hear me. I just laid there. He flashed the light. He didn't even hear me. He left, got back in bed, started talking to her again. She was like, you got to go. I was like, word up. Climbed back out the window, down the ladder, took the ladder back around where I found it. Boom, laid it there. And how did I get back up? Oh, I used the ladder to get back up because I couldn't grab the rope and hoist myself up. I used the ladder to get back up, and then I pushed the ladder, just pushed the ladder out. And the next day, it was like, we know you did something. We just don't know what you did. So, oh boy. But that's when I was young and gullible. I don't have the energy for that stuff anymore. Anyway, watch who you love. Enjoy the game of, sports. Be careful. Be aware. It's your boy Tom. God loves you.